Hey guys, how are we doing? Crypto Insight UK here, bringing you back another YouTube video. So today I've actually quite got a lot to discuss. First off, let's talk about the structure that's played out so far in Bitcoin. This is a structure we were looking for yesterday. I said, look, when we get these lows, what you often see, and if you remember, we were talking specifically about Cardano. I posted about it a lot over on X, so you know exactly what I was saying. I basically said, look, when we get these wicks, what you often see is a push higher in price for the RSI to move up, and then a flush of the lows, and then potentially a continuation, a push higher for the RSI to move up, and then we obviously take the lows in price, but we make a higher low on the RSI, and then that indicates that momentum for the sellers is waning and potentially buyers stepping back in the market. Now, so far, that is what's happened here for Bitcoin. So we've got that bang on. What we need to see for confirmation is like more closes to the upside here. What you'd be looking for is first off for Bitcoin to be closing above this level, and then like slowly trying to chop above these levels. So as much as we've got this initial move off the lows so far, we haven't actually seen too much confirmation. And some alts look different to others. Some you could suggest there is potentially another low sweep to come. I'm going to use an example of pump fund here. I'm not necessarily using the same RSI strategy that we've just discussed, because even though like pump fund has made that same that same higher low, or lower low, higher low RSI structure that we've discussed. As you can see here, so there's the lower low and then the higher low on the RSI here, being that bullish divergence. There is something on, and I use pump fund because it's just been trending recently, and it's just an example of something that I was looking at. The thing is, we could see one further sweep for pump fund of like these levels here, and to take that liquidity just sitting below there, and to close what people would call a fair value gap in this candle. So there is still an argument to say the bottom might not be in, but I'm going to just play devil's advocate a little bit here and say a few interesting things. First off, I think that like some of the leaders that have been leading recently, like AVAX is pumping again. It's taken back all of its negative, like downward price action, and we're seeing some assets start to push up. Like AVAX is a perfect example. Even hype off the lows is something, as you guys know, I haven't been invested in. But if we use a parallel channel for hype, it's just hit the bottom of the channel. At the same time, like Asta was released, like peak FUD on hype, and hype's recovering so far averagely well. Now, I have one other thing that I want to throw out there, and this is more of like my own narrative, so don't put too much weight on it, but I'm just going to say a few things that kind of make sense to me here. Over the weekend, the weekly insight, I wrote about the fact that I thought Bitcoin was lagging. Why is Bitcoin lagging? And I gave you all these different reasons. Sentiment was low, and I presume actually, let's have a look at fear and greed today. That's fear and greed index. I presume it's even lower today after yesterday's flush out. Hasn't really changed actually. But fear and greed index still neutral to low. That's one of the things I discussed. I said, look, M2, Bitcoin's lagging M2. Bitcoin's potentially lagging gold, which is risk off. And or if you want to say it's lagging risk on, it's also lagging equities, and we have liquidity above us. Then I showed the total 1, total 2 of market cap of crypto. So basically my argument is that I feel like crypto is lagging. And one of the things that I said yesterday is that I think gold could be at a local high here, or close to a local high. It has continued today to set highs. I think 3.8 could be the like topping point. 3,750 is what I thought. Between 3,750 and 3.8 could be a significant high here for gold. Is essentially straight lining upwards. So why does this have any relevance? What do I think here? One thing that I think I'm thinking about quite a lot at the minute is obviously equities and gold at all-time highs. Is Bitcoin lagging? What narrative could there be to support that? Well, if Bitcoin or crypto generally was going to just slowly grind downwards, would they flush out liquidity to the downside? I would say probably not yet, because they're going to know that price is going to continue downwards, so they're going to take that liquidity anyway, so they want that to build up as much as possible. So because of this bearish flush, I'd be more confident that we're going to move to the upside. Market makers are taking people out of long positions before you move up, closing those contracts. Another thing is the timing of the flush. The timing of the flush is quite weird with the fact that we're seeing rumors that, and I don't put much weight on these rumors normally, so let me just preface this. I'm not saying, oh, I think that we're going to go to the moon, whatever. We're seeing rumors today that Trump's going to come out and make some statement about crypto, and I just think that normally I would have no bullish leaning towards that sort of statement. I think it's mostly complete bullshit. This guy on Twitter is called Dennis Porter or something, who says that he knows something about the inside and they're going to make some sort of announcement. People are speculating about whether it's going to be to do with the crypto reserve, whether there's going to be zero capital gains for crypto announced. I think it's interesting timing that Trump's just been to the UK and announced a joint UK-US task force for crypto, that Ripple were also in that meeting with some other people like Circle, Coinbase, for example. But normally I wouldn't put much weight on the fact that Trump could potentially come out and say something about crypto. But as we've had this flush and as Bitcoin is lagging, I think it needs a catalyst of some sort to push us into like a parabola season. I think we're at that point. I think maybe it's not the Trump speech, but I'm going to say that it could be. What I've said that is that Bitcoin dominance is at this key level where, let's go take you to the 4-hour look. I'll show you what I'm looking at. On the 4-hour, we've been making bearish divergences on Bitcoin dominance, as everyone's saying that they think Bitcoin dominance is going to bounce again. We then go to the weekly. I'll take you to this weekly chart here for Bitcoin dominance. On the weekly, I've been saying, look, this took us back to gold, but we'll go to Bitcoin dominance again for the weekly. Give me 1 second. I've been saying, look, on Bitcoin dominance, when we lose this level, this is where we're going to really accelerate to the downside. When we lost this particular level here in, this is the level set in August 2020. When we lost it in 2021, this is when Bitcoin dominance had that real acceleration to the downside. Similarly, when we lost this exact level again in December 2017 into January, a massive acceleration to the downside. Now we're literally chopping around / finding support on this level. I presume, as and when we lose this level, we should see acceleration to the downside. Now, could that come today? I don't know. But I'm just showing you more parts of a discussion that, I'm going to take you back to the other charts now, more parts of a discussion that it's definitely possible that we're awaiting some sort of major catalyst, whether it's narrative-based like Trump or whether it's just rotational, price-based, I don't know. But it does look like we're in this sort of zone where things could really get hot in the crypto market. It's kind of one of them where we're at the zone where if it doesn't happen, it's not going to happen. So that's something to watch for. If you're an XRP holder, oh yeah, one other thing is, like I spoke about yesterday, on ETH, for example, we took the exact liquidity that we wanted to take for Ethereum. We're now chilling below these levels that I had marked in from all the way back when, which were previously marked at the bottom of the range. Could we break back into this range? It's a question for the future. If we look at XRP, for example, we wicked exactly into the red liquidity that we had below us. Now, whether there's more liquidity building below us again now, I'm not sure because I haven't actually opened this chart. But look, we wicked into the red liquidity. There's only red liquidity now above us. I'm not saying for XRP we can't come down and make the structure where we do take this liquidity and a higher low on the RSI, because that is what normally happens, as I've been discussing with you guys. We fill the wick, we sweep the lows. But on some structures, like for Bitcoin, for example, we have actually completed that. So you could argue, and even if this is the 4-hour, you can actually argue even on the 4-hour that we created a higher low look on the RSI here and a lower low in price action before then continuing. Again, we haven't confirmed anything yet. But what I'm saying to you guys is, now more than ever, I wouldn't be surprised to see a massively bullish catalyst. That's what I'm saying. I think that's the way to probably word it. It's not that I think we're going to necessarily get something amazing, but more than ever right now, I think it's possible. Seeing that flush, knowing that Bitcoin's lagging, seeing where Bitcoin dominance is, and I know that like an announcement for Bitcoin specifically would probably boost Bitcoin dominance. That's the logic. But I think we're at the time in the market where something needs to light us up, and could it be a catalyst or an announcement? That's what I'm going to leave you with on this video today. And you might watch this video and think this guy's an idiot, like he's lost his mind. But I hope I've kind of like drawn why I think that's possible. It feels almost like there's despair out there. We're on 42 out of 100 on fear and greed. We're holding close towards all-time highs, both in terms of market cap of total 1, 2, and 3. Bitcoin dominance is at a key level. Everything's at all-time high, talking about like gold and equities. The DXY looks weak. It feels like it's time. Like people are giving up on crypto right when we go nuts, and we've seen a massive leverage flush to specific levels, especially for the biggest altcoin being ETH, and even for XRP, to almost pinpoint the liquidity. So does that mean there can't be more manipulation in the short term? No, but I hope you can understand where I'm coming from with this perspective. And I'm going to leave you there with that video. So with this video. So I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. If you did, please do hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Please do let me know in the comments if you think I'm right here, what you think the announcement today could be, and if you think I'm right or wrong, and what you think could happen in the future here. If I'm missing something, I'd love to know as well. And share this video with a friend. If you want to trade in any leverage, obviously be careful, but please do use my affiliate links for MEXC or WEX in the description of this video. Finally, please do subscribe to my newsletter. It's completely free, and I'd appreciate it if you did that. Peace up, A-Town down, as Crypto Insight UK would say. I'll see you on the next one.